Okay, so after the rock is excavated in the mine, it's crushed to lumps of around 20 centimetres. This then passes by a conveyor where it passes to mills which crush it to a very fine powder, a bit like the powder you'd use in the bathroom. This is then mixed with water into a slurry, and it passes through a series of flotation cells. Flotation is a process that separates the minerals which have copper and gold in them from the minerals which don't, and it's a simple physical process. So in the flotation cells, fine bubbles of air are passed through the slurry, and the minerals with copper and gold in them stick to those bubbles. They rise to the surface and form a fine froth or foam. This is then collected and then passes into the next cell to repeat the process to further concentrate these minerals. The resulting slurry is a concentration of the minerals which have the copper and gold in them. This is then thickened to remove the water and then dried into a powder. The resulting concentrate powder is shipped via lorry to Bulgaria to a smelter, where it is refined to copper metal and gold metal. And that's the end of the process in terms of the extraction. There is no chemical leaching involved, and there is no use of cyanide or sulfuric acid in the processing of the rock. The minerals that are recovered which don't have copper and gold in them are passed as a fine sand. Some of the water is removed, and these are stored in our tailings management facility as a fine sand which is just wet. It's not liquid, it's just a bit wet, behind an embankment made of solid rock. And that's the end of the process, really. It's a very safe, benign, simple physical process that just concentrates the minerals that have value to us, that we sell to Bulgaria, from the ones that we store on site, which are not reactive and quite safe. Yeah, we get asked the question a lot, and it's an obvious concern of people about the operation. There are no real sources of pollution because the process we use is a simple physical one of breaking down the rock and separating the minerals that have value from those that don't. There is no strong chemical reaction in that to produce reagents or anything like that that could get into the water supply, so poison people. The resulting tailings, which is the material which doesn't have copper and metal in, that we store in our tailings facility, is a very benign material. It's like the sand you'd find on the beach, really, in terms of its composition. So there's no potential for that to react and cause any problem. People also ask us a lot about dust from the mining process itself. The dust created in the mining is quite coarse, and it's very easy to make it settle very quickly so it's not carried by the air at all. We do this by simply spraying water, and that just makes sure that the dust stays on the ground and will not travel. Along with that, we have done a 3-year continuous study of the wind direction and the wind strength to make sure any finer particles do not carry anywhere near where there's farming activity or human habitation. And the conclusion of that work is there is absolutely no impact on either agriculture, which can coexist with our mining operation, or, very importantly, on the citizens' health. And from that point of view, it's a very safe operation. And most people won't even know that it's going on. It's well hidden behind in the mountains, and it doesn't take any of the agricultural land in terms of the mine's footprint.